This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Good Monday morning. Boy, that weekend just flew by. It always does.
I know, and there were so many great things to do, though, because it was so beautiful, and it's springtime, and that's just springtime in Louisville.
Yeah, we have so many events coming up as we head into the next week, because, you know, Sunday is Easter somehow. We are going to be watching some warmer weather, but active weather as we get towards next weekend. So right now, we're in the 50s and the low 60s. So a mild start. You may need a light jacket at best, but overall, you're pretty good as you're heading out. The clouds, those are continuing to build overhead, and along with them, we're watching a few isolated showers trying to pop for those of you anywhere from Shelby County back into LaRue County. And keep in mind, as we head throughout the rest of the morning, we can see a few more of these isolated showers trying to build. We'll keep that chance around through the late morning and into the early afternoon. The majority of us, though, just going to see a mix of sun and clouds as we jump into the 70s for your highs. The wind will also be a factor. Right now, we're still seeing a lot of those wind gusts near 25 miles per hour. As we get into the afternoon, those 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts remaining in our forecast. Rob.
Tawana, thanks so much. Those winds may be something we're going to contend with a little bit later on the roadways, but right now, just nice and clear out there. Good morning to you. This is a live look at the Waterston over Freeway. Look how gorgeous that sky is out there on a Monday morning. Makes Monday a little bit more palpable. Not always the easiest to get started, but this isn't too bad. Keeping our eyes on the big picture, no major incidents to speak of. Your drive times, if you're hopping on the Snyder this morning, we're not looking too bad, at least at this point. 64 to 71, you're looking at about 8 minutes. Bardstown Road over to 64, expect about 7 minutes. And 65 to Bardstown Road, 6 minutes as well. Again, if anything changes throughout the morning, we'll keep you posted, but looking pretty good for right now. Back to you.
Thank you, Rob. Misty Knoll will be released from prison early.
Last May, the ex-wife of convicted former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll pleaded guilty to 5 counts of theft and 5 counts of tax evasion. She was sentenced to 18 months in prison, which she began serving on July 3rd of last year. Now she is scheduled for release at the end of April, close to 10 months after she went behind bars. Misty's attorney, Bart McMahon, told us she received credits that reduced her sentence. Misty's former husband, Jamie Knoll, was sentenced to 12 years in prison after pleading guilty to dozens of charges, including theft, tax evasion, and money laundering, among others. You can find our complete coverage on their crimes on wave3.com or on the Wave News app.
A Louisville man indicted for a deadly double shooting that happened more than 5 years ago will be in court today for an arraignment. Police say 30-year-old Antoine Murphy shot and killed Roger Wayne Johnson on September 10th, 2020. The attack happened on North 40th Street in the Shawnee neighborhood. Another man was also shot. He survived his injuries. Murphy faces charges including murder, robbery, assault, and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. He's already in the Kentucky Department of Corrections custody at the Southeast State Correctional Complex on unrelated charges. Murphy will be arraigned this morning at 9:30.
A woman is dead after a car hit her in the Portland neighborhood. It happened just before 8 Sunday night, close to the intersection of North 22nd Street and Cleveland Avenue. Police say the woman was hit by a car that immediately drove off, and she died at the scene. Investigators are still trying to get an accurate description of the car involved and the series of events from witnesses. Anyone with information should contact LMPD's anonymous tip line.
We've learned the name of the woman fatally shot by Louisville Metro Police Friday evening. Her mother shared an emotional statement. Family members identified the woman as 28-year-old Caitlin Hall. LMPD says problems started around 7 o'clock Friday night when they responded to a woman suffering a mental health crisis in the Hurstbourne neighborhood. That's where they found Hall, who they believe had cut up her arms and was holding what they described as a large, sharp object. At one point, they say Hall charged at officers who fired at her. She died at the hospital. In a statement, Hall's mother described her daughter as a beautiful soul with a big personality and an even bigger love for her friends and family. Hall's mother said they called 911 for a medical emergency. She goes on to say quote, "My baby deserved better. She deserved help, not bullets." You can find the full statement on wave3.com. Meanwhile, both officers involved are on administrative leave. LMPD says because Hall had a weapon and there were other people present, the situation didn't meet the criteria for deflection or mobile crisis response. The identities of the officers and body camera footage of the incident will be released soon.
The funeral arrangements for a Kentucky soldier killed during Operation Epic Fury have been announced. 34-year-old Technical Sergeant Ashley Brooke Pruitt was one of 6 service members killed when a military aircraft crashed in western Iraq during Operation Epic Fury. The body of the Bardstown native will be returned to her hometown April 9th. There will be a dignified transfer for her from Samuels Field Airport to Houghland Greenwell Funeral Home. That will begin at 11 a.m. that Thursday. The Nelson County Sheriff's Office is encouraging community members to line the streets along the route during that time. And there will be a visitation for her from 10 to 8 on Friday, April 10th. The burial starts at 11 on Saturday, April 11th at Salem Baptist Church Cemetery.
Today, a judge will hear arguments in a case that has prevented the death penalty from being imposed in Kentucky. Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman's office will argue to dismiss a 2006 case that resulted in a ruling blocking lethal injections in the state. The case centers around Ralph Bays, who was convicted of murdering a Powell County sheriff and deputy in 1992. Bays has been on death row ever since, and the 2006 case argued that Kentucky's lethal injection methods were unconstitutional. The U.S. Supreme Court heard the case and ruled that Kentucky's methods were constitutional, though. However, Judge Philip Shepard issued an injunction in 2010 that paused lethal injections in the state. The Attorney General's office says dismissing the case would clear the way for nearly a dozen executions. Today's hearing is at 10 a.m. in Franklin County.
Indiana State Police say they're getting a much-needed boost from Indiana Governor Mike Braun.
Last year, the Indiana State Police received a near 21% increase from $15 to $18 million for its forensic laboratory. Rob Wells is here with details. Rob?
Hi, Olivia. Officers that I spoke with say that this move provides a vital resource for solving Indiana cold cases. It goes hand in hand with the passage last year of House Bill 1248. Now, that establishes a new process for utilizing advanced DNA testing, which includes forensics, analytics, and genetic genealogy. The cases are from homicide, sex offense, or high-risk missing person investigations that have been open for more than 5 years with no charges or coroner investigations to identify unknown victims. The bill outlines who can request testing, including victims, family members, county coroners, and law enforcement agencies.
It impacts the families of the victims and the families who are touched by those crimes, and they're finally able to get long overdue justice. We're able to utilize newer technologies, but along with those technologies, we need to have the resources as far as personnel to run those programs, collate that information, and ultimately, boots on the ground, good old-fashioned police work.
He adds recent successes include a homicide case from 1975 being solved, leading to the final January 21st, 2026 arrest of an Indiana resident with the help from the San Diego, California Police Department. Advances in forensic technology helped secure a conviction also in the 1987 death of an infant in Du Bois County. Governor Braun says that the increase in funds are paying off in efficiency, including a 19% reduction in DNA backlog and a 50% increase in automated DNA batch processing. Olivia, back over to you.
Thank you, Rob. Groundbreaking for the LUMED Chestnut Street project is happening today. Mayor Craig Greenberg will join leaders from LUMED to begin work on the first phase of the Chestnut Street Improvement Project. The project aims to create a safer area that connects the district's main institutions. The project features expanded sidewalks, extensive landscaping, and new curb extensions to create seating areas. Mayor Greenberg will join leaders this morning at 10:30 at LUMED Commons on Chestnut Street.
The Final Four is now set for the men's NCAA basketball tournament.
We'll take a look at who could be cutting down the nets in Indianapolis coming up.
This week, you can have more than just Taco Tuesday. You can celebrate all week long with Louisville Taco Week.
Throughout the city, you can find $3 tacos from some of Louisville's most popular taco joints. Kirsten Foote has more from Hopatomica.
Well, there's Taco Tuesday, but you know what's better than Taco Tuesday is Taco Week, and that is what Louisville is celebrating this week. And there's about a dozen restaurants getting in on all of the action. I am here with Austin and Robert from Down One Bourbon Bar, and you guys do have an expanded menu. You have burgers and all that kind of stuff, but you also have tacos, and you started out more as a taco concept. So getting back to those roots, tell me what you guys have for Taco Week this week.
Yeah, so we're bringing back some of the classes. We got the Drunken Yardbird, the Backyard Barbecue, and the Gringo.
And so what's on each taco? What makes each taco special?
So the Gringo is kind of an American play on a taco. It's got like crushed Cheetos on it. The barbecue has the smoked barbecue plus a little grilled corn sauce on it. And then the Drunken Yardbird has some like beer braised chicken in there, tomato, cheese, lettuce, smoked ranch. It's really good.
Yeah, good stuff. And so what does it mean to be participating in Taco Week?
Oh, we love it. We're right downtown. People come. We get smashed for lunch, dinner. We're ready for it.
Yeah, and same for you. What does it mean to be, participating in Taco Week? You've done it before, but just what are you excited about for this year?
Bringing the city to showing them the type of food that we can serve and the quality of the food that we do serve to the people of the city, and we are excited about that.
Yeah, and I think it's so fun that there's always a different type of week. There's Pizza Week, there's Burger Week, there's Taco Week, and so just what's it like to be able to kind of make some fun creations and show them off to people?
We really enjoy it. Like we've been doing tacos for a long time. We've been open for about 6 years, and we're just ready to get back out there and show the taco world what we got.
Yes. Do you have if you had to choose, which one would be your favorite taco?
I would say the chicken here.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like one of the first ones we had on the menu. Ooh. And we kept it on. It's still on there, and it's just one of my favorites.
And what are the specials that you guys are running this week? $3 tacos for how many? Can you get unlimited amounts of tacos? Or
what is it, unlimited?
It's a $1 taco. You have to order a minimum of 3, but it's unlimited.
Oh my goodness, yes. Fun. You can't miss that deal. You gotta check it out. When can people find you guys? Or when and where can people find you guys?
Well, we'll be open today at 11:30, and we're right next to the Yum Center.
Awesome.
Right
Yay.
Next to it.
Perfect. Downtown, if you're downtown, you gotta get some lunch. Celebrate Taco Week all week there, and so many other restaurants. You can find out more online, but you gotta set this up. Come on. It's not just Taco Tuesday. It's Taco Week. Back to you.
Oh, yeah, they look good.
I love how Louisville has all the different foods. We have Wing Week, Pizza Week, Restaurant Week, Taco Week. Ooh, yeah, gives you a good chance to try out some new spaces too.
Yeah, my stomach has just been grumbling all night ever since I saw those tacos. So yeah, I got to get in on that for today. For those of you heading out, maybe today's a good day to maybe eat outside because we do have some really nice weather in our forecast. Keeping an eye on those temperatures this morning, upper 50s and low 60s out there. So nothing too shabby for a Monday morning. We're seeing a mix of sun and clouds overhead already as that sun is starting to come up over the horizon. We're seeing exactly those clouds overhead with some of that sunshine in our SkyTrack camera in Bardstown. But something to note is that a few isolated showers have started to pop. I mentioned that on sunrise, and this is exactly what we're seeing. A few of those isolated showers stretching anywhere from parts of Spencer County through Nelson County and into northern LaRue County. And while we are going to continue to monitor that potential for an isolated shower or two this morning into the early afternoon, most of us are going to stay dry. Across the majority of the Ohio Valley, not seeing a whole lot going on. We are going to be watching for some of those isolated rain chances, as I mentioned, through the morning into the early afternoon. Once we head into tonight, a lot drier, but we're going to keep clouds around throughout the rest of the day. So that's why we're talking about a mix of sun and clouds for your morning and afternoon hours. The wind still gusting to near 20 miles per hour as of right now, but it will pick up as we get more of that sunshine. This is why we're looking at more of these gusts for the late morning into the afternoon, near 30 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. The southwesterly wind plus today's sunshine will drive us all the way into the mid to upper 70s for your afternoon highs. We're going to keep the southerly wind, going to keep some clouds overhead for tonight. And with both of those things, we're only dropping down into the 60s for tomorrow morning. And that is it. So your Tuesday morning looking even warmer. Hey, by Tuesday afternoon, we're just going to be sweating a bit, dealing with more of that heat in our forecast. In fact, we could get pretty close to our record. The current record, 86, the forecast high, 84. So how much we have in terms of wind and sunshine tomorrow will dictate how warm we get. Speaking of that wind, we're going to be looking at wind gusts for your Tuesday coming out of the southwest near 30 to 35 miles per hour. By Wednesday, we'll be adding in some scattered showers and thunderstorms to our forecast. We're going to keep some sort of rain chance every single day into the upcoming weekend. That's because we're going to have a couple of fronts stalled out nearby. And because of that, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for your Wednesday afternoon and evening. A few of those scattered storms possible on Thursday, but most of Thursday as of right now trending on the drier side. Going to keep rounds of rain to portions, but not all of Friday. Same thing for Saturday. A good chunk of Saturday may be quiet before rain moves in Saturday night into Sunday with that cold front that will bring some cooler weather for Sunday, and then we'll warm right back up for the beginning of next week. Shannon.
Thank you. This weekend saw both soccer teams in Louisville playing their league games away from home. Lou City in New York taking on Brooklyn FC, and Racing in Washington State taking on the Seattle Reign. Racing went into Seattle looking to get a win against the Reign, which they were unable to do in 2 games against them last season. But this one was all Seattle from the start. A goal in the 11th and 42nd minute saw the girls in lavender down 2-0 going into halftime, and that was a score for the majority of the second half until Racing's Macy Blackburn scored in the stoppage time, proving too little, too late. The girls in lavender dropped their second game to start the season. They have just 1 point through 3 games. And as for the boys in purple, they took a perfect undefeated start to the season to Brooklyn to play the new expansion team. Despite being a new club in the league, Brooklyn held their own against the back-to-back Players Shield winners. A scoreless first 45 minutes saw a 0-0 tie going into halftime, and a Brooklyn own goal in the 60th minute was the only goal in the game. Lou City earns all 3 points, continuing their perfect season through 4 league games.
Both U of L and UK women's basketball teams were looking to extend their season on a quest for a national championship. U of L faced off against the 2-seed Michigan. It looked good early for the Cards. They were up 15-9 at the end of the first, while the Wolverines were scoreless in the first 6 minutes of the game. Then Michigan turned it on. They would end the half on an 18-2 run, taking a 5-point lead into halftime. Michigan started to pull away from the Cards in the third quarter, and Michigan wins it by a final score of 71-52. As for Kentucky, they played their Sweet 16 game against an opponent they lost to by 11 in the regular season. That was the 1-seeded Texas Longhorns. This was going to be a big test for the Cats, but Texas proved early why they were the number 1 seed. A 15-0 run in the first put the Cats down early, and UK saw themselves down by 18 after just 1 quarter. That was too much to be able to come back from. The Cats would go on to lose by a final score of 76-54. But craziness continued in the men's tournament with the all-elite 8 games now in the books.
In the first game of the day, Michigan dominated Tennessee, winning 95-62. Then in perfect NCAA tournament fashion, the UConn-Duke game came down to the buzzer, with UConn winning it with less than a second left on the clock. So this is the Final Four now. 1-seeded Michigan Wolverines facing off against the only other 1-seed remaining, Arizona. Then on the other side, 3-seeded Illinois will take on 2-seeded UConn. The final 4 games will take place in Indianapolis Saturday, and then the championship game will be on Monday, April 6th. Well, we now know who is a part of this year's Kentucky Derby Festival's Royal Court.
We'll show you who was crowned queen coming up on Sunrise. A beautiful spring day helped bring thousands onto the streets of Nulu for the 9th annual Running of the Goats, otherwise known as Bachfest. Bachfest is a huge economic driver for businesses that call Nulu home, with those businesses saying it couldn't have come at a better time. Thousands gathered this weekend on East Market Street to see the goats race. It's something they say is a very Kentucky way of welcoming spring to one of the city's growing business and entertainment districts, one that's had a tough year from ongoing construction.
We still have some growing pains with the construction and everything else going on in the economy, but days like today just, they bring that hope and that joy that people remember that Nulu is pretty awesome.
You got agriculture background.
Kentucky farmers are also facing an increasingly difficult economy as they lose a workforce and the land they need to survive. That's why it's important to diversify what they do through agritourism.
When you leave an event like this, what's your takeaway? What do you go home with every year?
That people do see the animals and see that there is still farms in the country. Kind of they'll keep their respect for us for what we're doing. Yeah, it's hard to keep focused and put that much work into it and see how it's going to turn out. But the family farm is still there, and we got to hold on to it. So.
And one of the featured goat races included the News Flash Dash, which featured local news personalities. Kirsten Foote, Jose Zazaya, and I all had goats competing, but sadly, none of our goats won. They still looked cute, though. This year's Kentucky Derby Festival's Royal Court has been chosen. The Omni Hotel hosted the annual Phillies Derby Ball this weekend. The Derby Festival Queen was chosen by a simple spin of the wheel by the former title holder. Tanya Vergara Gongora of Louisville was crowned queen. The 4 remaining princesses, along with 4 handmaidens and pages to the court, and 2 newly knighted outstanding citizens were also selected. The pageantry raises money for a good cause, impacting education initiatives and charities around the area.
These women are so accomplished. I couldn't be more proud of each and every one of them, and I am so looking forward to the next couple of months with them representing the festival and the foundation at all the events.
The court will attend several events associated with the Kentucky Derby Festival and Derby itself. We even get the chance to talk to them at the backside for Sunrise at the Downs.
Yeah, that'll be here before we know it. We'll be right back.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Kogan. We know the name of the woman fatally shot by Louisville Metro Police Friday evening. Family members identified the woman as 28-year-old Caitlin Hall. LMPD says problems started around 7 Friday night when they responded to a woman suffering a mental health crisis in the Hurstbourne neighborhood. And that is where they found Hall, who they believe had cut up her arms and was holding what they described as a large, sharp object. At one point, they say Hall charged at the officers who fired at her, and she died at the hospital. Here's meteorologist Tawana Andrew, and it's a warm start to this Monday.
Yes, it is. We're seeing temperatures right now in the 50s and the low 60s across the region. And looking at many of our SkyTrack cameras, we're seeing that mix of sun and clouds for the start of your Monday. That matches with what we're also seeing on the satellite and radar across our region. A few isolated showers have tried to pop. We're seeing those showing up near New Haven and up into portions of Spencer County. But a lot of that just pretty light isolated showers. But we're going to keep that isolated rain chance through the rest of the morning to the early afternoon. However, most of us will remain dry. With today's sunshine, we'll climb into the mid to upper 70s for your highs as we keep things pretty windy across the region with gusts near 30 miles per hour possible. Looking ahead to the next 10 days, we will add in a little bit more of that warmth and wind tomorrow before we see rain chances to end the work week. Rob.
Tawana, thanks so much. Monday mornings are always tough, but it's not too bad when you have an easy commute, and that's what we're looking at right now. Good morning to you. This is a live look. This is Interstate 71 at Indian Hills Avenue. Light traffic volume out there. What a gorgeous sky we have to start another work and school week, so that we're certainly lucky about that. We are keeping our eyes on cleanup of a one-car crash at Shepherdsville Road near Rangeland Road, so if your travels take you through there, certainly watch your speed.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Cogan. A Louisville man indicted for a deadly double shooting that happened more than 6 years ago will be in court today for his arraignment. Police say 30-year-old Antoine Murphy shot and killed Roger Wayne Johnson September 10th, 2020. Murphy faces charges including murder, robbery, assault, and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. He'll be arraigned this morning at 9:30. Now here's Tawana with a look at the weather.
And what we're seeing across the region right now, those temperatures still in the upper 50s and low 60s. So a mild start across the region, but that sun is now over the horizon, and we're seeing it beaming through a lot of the clouds that are still overhead. Those clouds have produced a few isolated showers. While most of us are just seeing that mix of sun and clouds to start off the day, we are watching an isolated downpour right now for those of you near Springfield. So we'll keep an eye on that as it continues to march slowly off to the east and northeast. Now, what we're going to be looking at for the rest of the morning and into the early afternoon will be a few more of these isolated showers, but outside of that, that mix of sun and clouds will dominate the forecast as we jump into the mid to upper 70s for your highs. Also keeping an eye on that wind, already seeing gusts near 25 miles per hour, gusts near 30 miles per hour will remain possible through the afternoon. Rob.
Tawana, we'll be keeping our eyes on those wind gusts this afternoon, but right now a clear start to your morning commute. Good Monday morning to you. This is a live look at the Snyder right at Lewis and Clark. Just light traffic volume out there. Beautiful morning. No major tie-ups to talk about at this point. Certainly, we hope it stays that way. But we are keeping our eyes right now on a car crash cleanup, and this is in the area of the Gene Snyder westbound at Preston Highway. So that's exit number 12. You're going to want to watch your speed and buckle up. We'll see you in about another 25 minutes from now. Okay, terrific. Here we go with the Look Live intro. The Look Live intro in 3, 2, and 1. Last year, Indiana State Police received a budget boost from under $15 million to $18 million for its forensic laboratory. Spokespersons say it drives home the message that cases, no matter how old, will continue to receive attention that every crime victim deserves. Look Live tag. This is the Look Live tag for the package in 3, 2, 1. Governor Braun says that the funds are already paying off in efficiency, including a 19% reduction in DNA backlog and 50% increase in automated DNA batch processing. Rob Wells, Wave News.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Cogan. Misty Knoll will be released from prison early. Last May, the ex-wife of convicted former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll pleaded guilty to 5 counts of theft and 5 counts of tax evasion. She was sentenced to 18 months in prison, which she began serving on July 3rd of last year. Now she is scheduled for release at the end of April, close to 10 months after she went behind bars. Here is Tawana right now. How are we looking for this Monday?
Well, we're looking pretty warm across the region. Starting to see more of those 60s, but still a lot of us in the upper 50s and low 60s for this morning. Plenty of clouds overhead, but the sunshine able to get through. And that's what we're kind of looking at throughout the day, that mix of sun and clouds from this morning into the afternoon. We have been watching a couple of isolated showers trying to develop across parts of the region, and all we have is just a little bit of some drizzle left near Willisburg, and that is it. But we will monitor a few more of these isolated showers that may try to form throughout the morning and even into the early afternoon. The majority of us will stay dry as we jump into the 70s for your highs. We have been seeing these wind gusts near 20 to 25 miles per hour throughout the morning. Going to keep gusts near 30 miles per hour for later on today, with the wind trying to relax a bit for tonight into early tomorrow. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. Right now, just a nice, clear morning out there as you head out to work, to school, maybe to that early appointment. Good morning to you. This is a live look at the Snyder at the Lewis and Clark Bridge. Just a beautiful shot out there. Traffic volume picking up just a little bit from when we checked in about 15, 20 minutes ago, but certainly nothing to slow you down. We are keeping our eyes on one traffic snafu this morning, though, that we want to make you aware of, and that is the westbound lanes of the Snyder right at the Preston Highway exit. We're talking about exit number 12. Reports of a crash there about 25, 30 minutes ago, so certainly watch your speed. Speaking of your drive times, if you're on the Snyder, it's 10 minutes or under to most of the major metro areas. See you in 25 minutes.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Kogan. Groundbreaking for the LUMED Chestnut Street project is today. Mayor Craig Greenberg will join leaders from LUMED to begin work on the first phase of the Chestnut Street Improvement Project. The project features expanded sidewalks, extensive landscaping, and new curb extensions to create seating areas. Mayor Greenberg will join leaders this morning at 10:30 at LUMED Commons on Chestnut Street. And looking at that video, you can tell it's not from today because everyone's wearing winter clothes.
Yeah, we're definitely a lot warmer than that today. We are seeing temperatures still in those upper 50s and low 60s, so a slow warming process. Plenty of clouds overhead, but the sunshine still able to get through, and we're going to keep that mix of sun and clouds throughout the rest of the day. We have seen a couple of isolated showers to start off your Monday, but most of that now out of the region, and we are dry. Going to keep that isolated rain chance, though, through the early afternoon. Your temperatures today jumping into the mid to upper 70s. Now, the wind, that will be a factor throughout the day. We have been seeing a lot of these wind gusts starting to kick up a little bit more and more of those gusts near 30 miles per hour. And we're going to keep the windy conditions throughout the rest of the morning and into this afternoon. We'll even keep it breezy overnight tonight into tomorrow. So tomorrow will be windy and warm with highs getting to near record levels, jumping into the low to mid 80s for your Tuesday afternoon. More of those 80s through the middle of the work week as we add in rain chances for portions of your Wednesday and Thursday. And we'll see rain chances going up as we get into Easter weekend. Rob.
Tawana, thanks so much. And at 8:58, we're keeping our eyes on some roadway debris that may affect your morning commute. Good morning to you. This is where we're talking about I-65 southbound at Fern Valley Road. You can see the emergency responders off to the side there. So certainly, if your travels take you through there, watch out your speed. Speaking of your speeds this morning, things not looking too bad right now. If you're on 65, we're at 10 minutes or under using most of the major thoroughfares. Make it a great morning. We'll see you a little bit later today.
Check, 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 check. Ping, ping, ping. Check, check, check. check, 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 pink, pink.